Skye Squad, we are back in the building, baby. Back in the building. Okay. Happy Sunday to everybody who is in the chatterization and those who will watch later. We appreciate you. Okay. Um, let's get into it. Oh, side note, shout out to Melody Cherie for the collaboration. She's awesome to work with, so make sure you guys go and get your 7th Avenue Premier Skincare. And listen, we is open to all sorts of collaborations. So, come on, come one, come all, baby. Come one, come all. Glory be on this good Sunday to y'all out there. If you are watching in the chatterization, be sure to let us know where you are watching from. I see we got Callie in the building. Okay. Thank you guys for all the love. I appreciate that. We got ATL in the building. Who else is up in here? Yes, come on now. Come on with it. We got St. Louis, Phoenix, South Carolina, Philadelphia, Maryland, Alabama, baby. Hey, Richmond, Virginia, Jasper, Texas. We got New York, Louisiana, Florida, Vegas, Bronx, Birmingham, Detroit in the building, Rochester, Miami, Chi-Town, Antigua, Louisiana. Hey, Arizona, I see you. High Point. Come on, Georgia, Rhode Island, Illinois. I see y'all. So many of our people are in the building, and I appreciate all the love, all the way from the UK, baby. All right, so we got a lot to talk about in this episode. MARSAU is spilling the tea about Miss Van, okay? Martell is spilling his own tea about him and MELNIKA, okay? I don't know if she was ready for him to spill that tea when he did, but she kind of just rolled along with it, okay? So in my mind, I'm like, was the story that Mel told then correct? I mean, did she not say that the assistant was asking, that Martell was trying to talk to the assistant or whatnot? And I don't understand why I would want somebody who my ex did the relations with back in the day to do my wedding today. I don't know, but we're going to talk about it, okay? We're going to talk about it. So let's get down into the thing. On a scale of 1 to 10, we rate the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all rated in the chatterization. I think I'm going to give this episode, I'm going to give it a 9. I'm going to give it a solid 9. We got some interesting tea, okay? Like I said, from MARSAU that we will discuss. But in doing so, he kind of shaded his own brother at the same time. I also got to give this episode a 9 because, baby, for some reason, I don't understand why a lot of y'all don't like Letitia. But when I tell you she laid it out for Martell, baby, I said, oh, that's how you boss up, Letitia. That is how you boss up. I said, you better let this man know who is the boss here. And it ain't him, okay? It ain't him. And she also held his feet to the fire, Okay. I was here for all of that carrying on. I was here for it all. We got Miss Van throwing some shade. Okay. We had a lot of, interesting little moments here that's leading up into next week. Okay. I think I might have to give this a 9.5 instead of just the 9 that I gave it now that I'm talking about it. Okay. Because it was actually very good. Okay. So let's start this episode off. Letitia and MARSAU drive up to the land that will soon be Scott Manor, and he lets her know that they still got a long way to go. And then we're reminded that the site still pretty looks the same as it did in 2019. Okay. That was what, 3 years ago at this point. And so MARSAU is like, the panorama has held up all of the progress on the land and it's just slow going. Okay. I was like, they must be building a compound, a castle with a moat. Okay. Because it don't seem to me like it's been that much progress made. But what do I know about building on land that has to be still cleaned up, cut down, knocked down, and all that good stuff like that? Okay. So anyway, with that being said, Letitia is gonna let him know that she is going to invest some money, some cash rules, everything around me into her mama's food truck. The truck that don't drive, okay? The truck that don't work, the dilapidated truck, okay? Nonetheless, Miss Wanda has told her that the truck works. MARSAU think she a lie, okay? Survey says she's a lie, according to MARSAU. Okay. But for some reason, Letitia's like, well, hold on now. Why are you so against my mama? Okay, investing in my mama's business, but you so ready, willing, and able to bring Martell Holt back into the scope, okay, that I bought his part out of, okay, that I took from zero to multi-million dollars, okay? Why do you want to let this man who accused you of having 20 women's on the side back into the fold of our business that is working perfectly fine without him? Okay? Why? Why? Why won't you invest this $30,000 in my mama food truck, but you about to put our business in the hands of this man that tried to take us down? So he basically says, MARSAU, I feel like, makes some excuses for Martell. And listen, here's the thing. If you're not mad that the man said you got 20 women's, I can't be mad that the man said you got 20 women's. You know what I'm saying? I can't be more mad than you. So at the end of the day, it is what it is at this point. He's making his arguments for Martell being a good businessman and whatnot. But he also says that, Martell is not still bringing him drama the way that Miss Wanda is still talking about pictures of his bike and pictures of him out allegedly at the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Okay, that's Miss Wanda that's still doing all that. Okay, he ain't bringing up drama on the internet. No, maybe he ain't MARSAU, but Martell is still causing drama on the internet. Okay, so I don't know. That is what it is. At the end of the day, Letitia gonna speak to Martell one-on-one herself because she need to have a little ponderosa with him to make sure that his ducks is in a row before they ever invite him back into the scope business. So at that point, MARSAU then jokes that Letitia is going out on a date with a known cheater. Only MARSAU can make a joke about his wife going out on a date with another man while also shading the heck out of that other man. Similar to him thinking that he's shading Miss Van, but also dragging his own brother in the process. I ain't never seen nothing like it. That is why I feel like MARSAU is probably one of reality TV's greatest characters. Okay. I can't call him a villain per se, because I don't think he's villainous, but I definitely think he likes to stir the pot, and he definitely does that both intentionally and unintentionally. Okay. Now, so speaking of breaking ground, Martell is across town breaking ground on a lot that he is currently building on. I don't know whether or not that builder's license has been obtained or if he's working with a business partner on this property or not, but he is about to stick a shovel in the ground. And so I would guess that it don't matter because he's still about to break the ground. Now he has invited Miss Melnika. Okay. We learned that he wants to have a wine event for his Honest wine. And this time he's going to remember to thank all of his family members that he did not thank from before. Anyway, he wants to really address the rumors that's going around about him and Melnika allegedly sleeping together. He says that she and her husband, if they hear something about this rumor, that it came from Melody and nobody else. Now, she feels like she never had issues with Melody. Melody allegedly came to Melnika's mom's funeral. She has been at events with Melnika, spoke at Melnika's events, but she says that Melnika says hurt people. And she's not going to say anything negative about Melody because she don't know nothing negative about Melody. But, okay, she does say in a moment that I felt like she was about to cry, okay, that it's unfair to her marriage and her husband shouldn't have to question the relationship that she is working on for her business. So they then addressed the fact that she did quit the wedding. Apparently, it wasn't 2 weeks before the wedding, as Melody stated. How that came up in this conversation, I don't remember because I don't recall Martell expressing that it was 2 weeks. But by this point in time, I'm sure Melnika had already seen the episode. I really don't know how that worked out, to be honest with you. But I don't remember him giving her the little details about it being 2 weeks before the wedding or whatnot. So maybe she already knew about this scene and was prepared to talk about it. I have no idea. But she goes on to mention that, and I'm going to read to you what she said because I wrote it down. She says that the assistant was saying that Martell was trying to talk to her. So was she admitting that the assistant was trying to talk to her, that Martell was trying to talk to the assistant? I didn't understand that. Let me know what y'all gathered from that in that situation. Was she confirming that Martell was trying to talk to the assistant? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Then she goes on to say Melody came in to the office asking who wanted Martell. And she says that nobody wanted Martell but her. That's what I think. She must have already she already knew about it and was prepared to talk about it. That's what I got from that situation too, allegedly. So Martell says, I mean, we haven't had relations since high school. And I was like, oh, so you did do something back in the day. Now, was this known to Melody prior to Melnika working on the on the wedding? Because to me, this is my rationale. Let me get on the screen. If let me just put myself in the position. If I'm Melody and I think that something is going on with my husband, with my fiance, and my fiance is alleged to be trying to talk to the secretary or the assistant. And if I come up into the office asking, well, who wanted this man? Who's trying to talk to my fiance? And everybody is mum's the word. And then I also find out that later on that the wedding planner has also had relations with my fiance. I'm gonna be a little annoyed. I believe. Okay. That I would be a little annoyed. It just seems like a little too close for comfort to me. Okay. Granted, it might have been high school, but at the end of the day, I just kind of feel like it's something. Listen, here's the thing. It might not be nothing going on today. But if at the time I had to find out that they had a fling, why would I want you to plan my wedding? I just don't understand. Um and granted, again, it was high school, so I don't know. It just I don't know. It's just a little. I think if Martell was not a known cheater in the relationship, I don't think it would be an issue per se. Maybe. But it sounds to me like Melody might have had some concerns going into the marriage. That's what it sounds like. Okay. Um, so I don't know. I really don't know. Melnika didn't really respond to that, but she does say, who cares? You like cheating anyway. And I thought that was an odd thing to say. Now, I see a couple of y'all saying Melnika said they did not sleep together. If they didn't sleep together, why didn't she say that in the scene when he basically said to her that they did sleep together? I don't understand. It just feels, I don't know. It's just a little too much. It's just a little too much for me. Um so anyway, she says that she does not want to sleep with him now. I would That's the case. And he says, "But you cheated too." And then she laughs and says, "I don't recall." So I'm thinking, I'm like, well, did she cheat on her high school boyfriend with Martell? Or was he talking about some other time that she had allegedly cheated? The whole conversation was like, was giving me tea without giving me all the tea. Something is confusion with me with this situation for me. And I would really like for them to clear it up, right? And again, only reason why we interested is because y'all talking about it on the show. If you had never said a word about it, one thing that Martell did not have to do was Martell didn't have to reveal that they slept together in high school. I would have kept that to myself. Not only out of respect for her marriage, because what if the husband didn't know? And as we talked about, if it was in high school, and as people are saying, it doesn't count as adults and with the woman who is now married, why would you even bring it up at all? It was just very messy to me. Then he also brings up the fact that she cheated at some point in time, for which she tries to deny, or at least tries to say that she can't recall. Why even mention any of those things? Like, he just spilled so much of her tea. And I'm like, girl, do you see what this man is doing? Like, you obviously, I don't know. I don't like stuff like that. So it's bothersome to me that she just let all of that slide. We would have had to have some serious conversations. Especially if somebody that's managing me. If you managing me, we got a business relationship that for me, I'm not going to be revealing any of your tea that you told me that or that I know, personal or private or anything otherwise, especially if I'm coming to you revealing that somebody is spreading rumors about the two of us that you are saying is not true. Why bring any of it up? It to me, I just don't like it. Okay. I don't like it. I think it's very messy. I feel like it just, to me, this is the difference between it. There's a slight difference between MARSAU and MARTELL. I feel like MARSAU brings things up and he shades everybody without really um it's just like a little bit of a difference in the way they do it. To me, it just feels like Martell is just being messy, like just to be messy. I don't know. I don't know. It just it's just a little too much for me. Anyway, so Melody and her mama talk. Okay, Melody cleaning up the deck or whatever. So Miss Van apparently did a live with our girl Lula from the Love and Marriage Huntsville fan page on Instagram. Now, Lula is number one, amazing. Number two, make sure you guys are following Love and Marriage Huntsville on the Instagram. But also, in the interview, Miss Van was addressing some things that Miss Wanda has said in a recent live. Now, the conversation then turns to Miss Van posting Letitia wearing a team wife t-shirt. Let me break this down for you because I just feel like everybody is claiming to be to be throwing light to be everybody is kind of claiming, well, I was doing it to promote this and that. Letitia's doing saying I was wearing a t-shirt to promote Melody's business and it was getting money. You know, I got her some sales. Miss Van, I was just posting the photo to promote Tisha wearing the t-shirt, this, that, and the third. Let's call a thing, okay? Everybody in this scenario was being shady, okay? Number one, Letitia was being shady when she wore the t-shirt to that event where it was going to be a Ponderosa that was supposed to clear the air with all the ladies. Number one, Letitia, we got to call a thing that was being shady. So Letitia technically started that shade fest by wearing that t-shirt. So when MARSAU says later in his confessional that they don't ever start anything, I got to call him out on that because that's not true. Okay. Now, whether or not Letitia was responding to some other level of shade, I don't really know. But what I know is coming into that scene, wearing that t shirt, it was being shady. Number two, Miss Van was also being shady in return by posting the t shirt, point blank, and the period. Like, at the end of the day, I'm glad she could somewhat admit to it because, for real, we got to call a thing a thing. If you're being shady, my suggestion is always simply say, I was being shady. Yes, I was. And, okay. So that's the next thing. The following thing is MARSAU know good and well he was being shady too by reposting this picture of the Coke bottles with Vanessa and Scott on the Coke bottles. Okay. So there's that. Now that we've laid that out, everybody was being shady. Let's call a thing a thing. Now, let's get into Miss Van and Mark. Okay. I don't know what was going on with Miss Van and Mark. Okay. What we get from Miss Van in this scenario was that they were just friends and she was just trying to help someone out. Okay. And what we also get from Miss Van is that Mark's mom told him that his next wife was going to be named Vanessa and it was going to be a great marriage. The next thing that Miss Van says is Mark was moving too fast, which leads me to believe that there was more to the relationship than just being friends. Now, I don't know if they was all the way coating, okay? But I do know that that's what she said, okay? Now, when we get to the producer asking Miss Melody about who Mark is in relation to Scott and Maurice, she says next question, she's not going to talk about it. She ain't got nothing to say, okay? Now, I don't blame her for not saying nothing in this scenario, because if I don't want to talk about my mama's relationships or whatever she got going on, I ain't gonna talk about it. You're gonna have to ask her that, right? But it was apparently something. I don't know what it was. I don't know who gonna admit to what, but she did say he was moving too fast, which leads me to believe that there may have been something going on. I ain't mad at it, okay? And granted, he's not part of the show. So I feel like this. Anybody that you dated before and you in a relationship now, or you single now, or whatever, if you say you ain't dated them before, I'm listen, okay, fine. If that's what you listen, because I firmly believe that when you get into a new situation, your past situations, they don't even have to exist for real, for real. However, Miss Van, do not give me no clues. Okay, you can't leave me no breadcrumbs now, Miss Mama. I got to show Miss Mama some love, but Miss Mama did say he was moving too fast. Okay, so now I got a breadcrumb. So where we gonna go from that? We will see in just a minute. All right. Now, also, Miss Van too. If you want to go and find yourself a good time, a little honey bun, okay. I ain't mad at you for doing so. Okay, that's your prerogative. Now, meanwhile, because if Miss Wanda can have a husband and a boyfriend, you deserve all the love that you want to get yourself. All right. But again, you can't leave me no breadcrumbs. Okay. All right. Now, Miss Van is now going on about how she was trying to help Mark be a better version of himself. And the sad thing is, Martell knows the truth, and for him to sit on that stage and to make it about something else was foul. Okay. So Mel says the reason he's siding with the Scots is because they can possibly help him build the business back up. Okay. Now, I feel like that's also true. I feel like Martell is definitely in desperate need to have some allies so that he can build his book of business back up to what it needs to be and get some money. Okay. I ain't going to even front. I think that's also the case. But I don't blame him for that. But I just know that if he's trying to make his relationship with Melody work, that I also know that going to talk to the Scots about Miss Van is probably not the best thing to do. Even though he's not necessarily the one who brings it up with Letitia, he does bring it up with MARSAU. And to be honest with you, I don't really know as much as I think a lot of you guys may know about the relationship with Mark and Miss Van, because I know that a lot has been talked about, on the Facebook and things of that nature. And I will readily admit the backstory on them, I am confused about. Okay. That's all I know. So Mel in her confessional says that she heard that Destiny is having a reopening of Madani, and she's gonna go whether she was invited or not. Okay, because is likely an all cast event, and she gonna go where she want to go. She's still gonna go support Destiny because Destiny is not her enemy, and she hopes that the Scots don't say or do anything to agitate her because she's trying to be peaceful. Miss Van says that they've all gathered together to take Melody down. Speaking of the Scots and Martell, he meets up with Letitia at Black. They exchange pleasantries. She brings up Miss Van posting the photo and how Miss Van is supposed to be saintly, but is also shady. And I'm like, Letitia, you were being shady by wearing this shirt. If you didn't wear this shirt, she would have nothing to post. Let's just call a thing and get it out the way. Martell is not trying to be involved in the middle of that. But at this point, though, it's time for Letitia to get real with Martell about how things are running. Apparently, when Martell was a part of Scolt, they was in the red, they was in the negative, they was in the zero. But when she bought him out, she took that business from zero to hero. And now there is a new sheriff in town, and it is her. She is in charge of the girls. She is in charge of the bills. She is in charge of who comes and goes. And she needs to let Martell know that he will not just come up and through, wreck shop, being untrustworthy, being distasteful, being messy, and coming up and messing up their businesses or their livelihood, or she will show him the door. Okay. And she also needs assurances from him that whatever happened before with him talking about the 20 women's, that type of thing will never happen again. And she literally, I'm gonna tell you the truth, she gave it to him good. She put him through the paces. She gave him every ounce of what I felt like he deserved to be given if he wants to get back into the good graces of that company. Let me tell you something. I was so proud watching her run it down to his face calmly, assuredly, confidently, while he sat there and squirmed and wiggled and tried to make sure that he was able to get his foot back up in that door so he can get some of that good Scolt money. Okay. I don't blame you, Letitia, for putting him through the paces the way that you did. I say give it to him raw, let him know what time it is, and let him know that the moment that he becomes untrustworthy, messy, manipulative, or nasty, he's out on his rear end. Okay? Let him know. Let him know. Period. Point blank. They bring up the Madani suites and, the fact that is this, Destiny don't own that building. So ain't no need in doing a build out of some salon suites. And then if the owner of the building kick her out, then she done all this work, paid all this money, and it goes to the owner's benefit. Okay. So I said, that sounds smart to me. I mean, listen, Madani got to wait. Madani need to be waiting until Madani can be open full time. To be quite honest with you, I think it's best to take in business one step at a time. You know what I'm saying? And that's, I think, the right thing to do. So I feel like everybody's on one accord with that, and I feel like they're making the smart move. Martell then invites the guys out for a game of pigskins and pins and things. This is where you throw a football and try to knock down the pins. Why this seems so hard to do, I don't know, but I ain't never played this game. Anyway, MARSAU asks if Martell is dating because he knows that he went out on a date with his wife, Letitia. So anyway, Martell recaps the meeting, and the guys try to come to a place where they can outline the boundaries of their relationships. This is probably something they should have done before the show started airing. But here we are, 5 seasons later, and they're finally getting down to the business. In order to set and the funny thing about this is, this all is happening. This boundary setting episode is occurring right before the episode that we will see Martell and MARSAU face off in a physical form over down to the Madani, while Miss Wanda is trying to fight Melody. Okay. So it's so funny that this conversation, the irony of this conversation happening with the guys setting boundaries with each other, and then next week seeing that all of those boundaries have gone by the wayside is so interesting to me, and it's great television, right? So MARSAU basically recognizes that Martell has a dark side, and he's trying to mitigate all the risks that could affect their family. But for me, I would say the only benefit that Martell would bring to the table is the fact that Martell is good for dramatic television. Because otherwise, to me, when I'm thinking about a business partner, if I see that my business partner is running down his ex-wife on Instagram and things like that, and dragging all their personal business through the mud, Also, while he's outing the fact that he slept with his manager while they were in high school, and he's outing the fact that his manager is a cheater, crossing relationship boundaries. And again, this is just a manager-client relationship. To me, it would seem as though that would be enough inclination for MARSAU to be under the impression that Martell is not ready for these types of business relationships, not even to mention the fact that he also told MARSAU to his face that he has slept with 20 women on television, in front of a camera, in front of an audience full of people that will forever judge MARSAU based on that one fact alone. Well, it may not be a fact, but the fact is that he said it, and he said it out loud on TV. So you mean to tell me that this man's dark side is not enough for you to say no to working together? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And this is not a knock against Martell, because I want the man to do well. I want him, I feel like but I feel like he got some issues. He's messy. He's messy. He does messy things. So until he stops doing those messy things, I kind of just feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like I would trust him in business. I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't. But that's just me. So anyway, Martell asked MARSAU about posting the picture, and here comes the tea. Here comes the tea. Here comes the tea. Basically, Marceau feels like he was just returning the shade. Okay. Apparently, Van sent that picture to Letitia. So back in the day, okay. Well, before we get there, Martell asked, being messy, and see, this is another instance of Martell being messy. Number one, if I know that I'm trying to get back into the good graces of my ex-wife, why am I going to ask this question that I know my ex-wife's mother will not want to get out there? But Martell does it anyway. He says, well, how long were they dating? And apparently, according to MARSAU, they were dating for a while. And she was even paying that man, Mark's child support and everything, and paying him because she loved him. This is all according to MARSAU. Let me put the alleged badge up here because I didn't say it, he did. I'm telling y'all what he said, okay? Paying the man's child support. So now, MARSAU, you have not only told your brother's business, okay? You have also told you told the mama's business, but you done told your brother business too. Because now you're basically saying that your brother don't pay child support. You're saying that your brother allowed a woman to come in and pay the child support for his child, which would be your nephew or niece. Okay, your own. So you like it blows my mind that he didn't foresee where that one would land. Okay, to me, I'm like, bro, like I know that you were spilling some tea in that moment, but you spilled some family tea. Okay? You spilling family tea. Um so my mind was kind of blown in that moment because again, that not only affects Miss Van, but that also affects your brother. I guess they brothers, right? And his kids. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Um, and maybe he didn't. Maybe he don't care. I don't know. But I just happened to think about that. And she said that Miss Van loved the man. I said, wow. Over at the Madani relaunch space, she's got some vendors. Kimmy and Maurice arrive. Miss Wanda arrives with her food and no truck. Melnika and Martell arrive. MARSAU and Letitia arrive as Miss Wanda is unpacking. And they literally, as Miss Wanda is sitting there in all her mess of stuff trying to get set up, they walk on by her. I was like, Letitia, you're not gonna help your mama unpack that car. Maybe she had somebody out there to help her and we just didn't see her. But it was like they rolled up beside her and they looked at her and they was like, hey girl, and kept on moving. I said, Lord have mercy. Anyway. Everybody convenes inside. We see Martell wants to know if Destiny invited Melody. And she's like, well, I invited MELNIKA. And then as soon as he starts asking about Melody, she changes the subject to, you know, the new displays. Okay. And so as the show is ending and Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott arrive, okay, we see a gold. Was it gold, y'all? I think it was gold. We see a gold-plated Mercedes truck rolling up, and we see that door open, and we are left to wonder, is this Melody about to make her entrance? Destiny had to know that Melody was most likely coming, okay? Because I'm sure it was an all-cast event. But next week, y'all, we're going to get the drama that rocked Huntsville to its core, okay? The drama that rocked Huntsville to its core. Who going to come out on top, okay? It's giving real WWF, okay? Is it WWF, WWE, WWE? Whatever the fake wrestling match was, it's giving fight. It's giving fight night, okay? It's giving. Oh, that was Stormy's car. Somebody said that gold truck is Stormy's. Okay. Yes. Okay. But we know that Melody is gonna make her way. Okay. And the last time we saw Stormy and Destiny, things didn't go too well. So I guess we'll have to see how that works out. I might have to give them an extra little point for that because I thought it was Melody's, but I thought that Melody had a different color car anyway. So that'll be interesting. Thank y'all for clarifying. All right, y'all. So listen, I'm interested in seeing what happens next week. We got a couple. Well, I don't think we have any Huntsville interviews coming up this week, but we have a couple of Huntsville. We've got to set up some more Huntsville interviews. So be on the lookout for that. If there's somebody that you guys want us to interview, let me know in the chatterization. With that being said, it's Sunday. Y'all know I love y'all. Be sure to catch me at 4 p.m. Around 4:45 p.m. on MSNBC on the Simone Sanders Show. We will be doing Culture Corner with Jade Mathis. So be sure to tap in, tune in, and get turned on to that at around 4:45 p.m. The show starts at 4 p.m., but we'll be on in the back half. So be sure to tap in for that for Culture Corner. With that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video.